Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, we're here in Larkhill Garrison in Wiltshire to learn about how Britain's shooters are going to be funded at the 2012 Olympics. We're in Essex, where they gather up everything they've shot and feed 350 people. And we're in Somerset with our very own top shooting instructor Abbey Burton to learn how to shoot straighter. But first, Webster talks about hunting badger by owl light. Things have moved on a little bit. Today, we're hawking rabbit by lamplight. Not only is Roy finding the John Deere Gator good for fitness training his eagles, he's finding it makes a great launch pad too. We joined him on 2 evenings lamping with his birds. On the first night, Fraser was flying his redtail, which we've already seen perform well in woodland. And tonight she again proves to be a useful bird for providing for the pot and doing a bit of pest control. But in an attempt to look less like the wacky racers tonight, it's only Roy at the helm with his friend Sam, looking after the unfairly named Fugly.
This one is a ferruginous cross red-tailed buzzard, and I mean they're quite underrated really. A lot of people don't seem to realise how good they are, and they really are a fantastic rabbit and hare hawk. There's a few different people that breed them. I mean, they've been around for a few years. I had one many years ago, and she was a very good bird, and a couple of the other guys that I fly with have got them as well. But they're a very good, efficient little hybrid, or big hybrid for hybrid buzzard for catching rabbits. Anyway, thank you, sweetie. There's no need to make that noise, is there?
We head off across the grounds of Buxted Park and we quickly get our first flight. And although this looks like footage from the Blair Witch Project, it delivers our first bunny of the night.
Okay, no, first rabbit of the evening. We'll see if we can get a few more. So again, exactly the same as with all the other birds, with a little bit of light. Then we just go in, give her a fair trade-off. Thank you, sweetie. There we go, good girl. So she gets another little bit of chick, we get the rabbit, and away we go. Good girl.
How many would you allow her to go for in an evening?
Normally 2 or 3. You can, when you're lamping, you can take a fair few more than that, but 2 or 3 rabbits, is normally enough just to, give them a bit of exercise and have a little bit of sport. And obviously it's quite a nice means of pest control as well for the rabbits. I mean, I obviously shoot rabbits as well, but I do enjoy the lamping. It's a good bit of fun.
There are plenty of rabbits about tonight and some have a very lucky escape.
Little bastard.
But not all. And if you hear church bells in the background, it's practice night.
Sam's gone in there and got a hold of it quickly for us, so we'll just make sure that the bunny's dispatched nice and quickly. So, just broken its neck. There's a good girl. And then all we'll do is we'll let her have another little bit, and then we'll try for bunny number 4.
Will she naturally go for a certain part of the body, or is she just trying to get hold purchase?
At the moment, the way she's flying, especially in the lamp, she's just trying to get hold. She just grabs hold of anything, and then once she's grabbed hold of it, then she'll try and secure a foothold. So it's the same as with all birds. There you go. When they go in initially, in the daytime when they can see it, then some birds try and aim directly at the head. But some just grab hold of them on the back, and then as they grab hold of it with the one foot, they ladder up and take hold of the head, which is the securing hold at the top. But with her at the moment, she's just grabbing hold of anything she can to get on terms with them. So she's had a little bit of a reward, and then what we'll do is we'll just trade up to a bit of chick. Come on, sweetie. There you go.
After one particular flight, Fugly heads into a tree. She comes back to him without any problem. Roy has to have confidence in the birds he's using for lamping.
We make sure that they'll recall from anywhere, so they've got to come out of trees, and they obviously need to be aware of the quarry and what they're doing as well. So we don't start them out on the lamp. They start out hunting rabbits ordinarily, and then we move them onto the lamp when they've become proficient at catching.
We get another fantastic display, and we have a pretty impressive bag for the night.
You obviously dispatched that rabbit.
Yeah.
So normally, should have just held on to that, and how did you?
I mean, a bird of prey naturally will grab hold of something, depending on the quarry and on the bird. Then a lot of the times they'll dispatch it themselves reasonably quickly. But it's I think it's our duty as falconers and as sportsmen to make sure that our quarry doesn't suffer. That the animal's dispatched very quickly, and it's over and done with. With falcons, then a lot of the time the quarry is either killed on the strike, or they've got a tooth on their beak which they dislocate the neck of their quarry. With the buzzards and the eagles, then they rely on grabbing hold of it and puncturing the internal organs or the vital organs with their talons. And so with rabbits, they can be a little bit tough to kill. So it's just nicer for us to go in and finish the rabbit quickly, and it's over and done with.
It's been cold and Fugly's been busy, but she's performed really well. The London 2012 Olympics. It's been a shocking story so far. They're building temporary shooting facilities at Woolwich instead of upgrading the Centre of Excellence at Bisley. It will come as no surprise to you at all to learn that there is no broad-based funding for shooting. Until now. A group of Team GB shooters have got together and they're sorting out some private funding.
Ball.
Shooting, once a sport for the rich, is now so poor it's having to take the initiative. For British shooters to have any hope of challenging for medals in international competitions, they need money. Lots of it. And it isn't coming from the country's coffers. As we all know, the government doesn't have much time for clay shooters. All those guns and stuff, it must be stamped out. Thankfully, help is at hand. 4 shooters have just created a fundraising body called the Olympic Clay Target Shooting Foundation. Alfie Oldring knows what it takes to win, and he's invited me to his shooting school in Hampshire to tell us why the sport needed to do something to safeguard its survival and growth. Alfie Oldring.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm in the presence of a legend. You've won quite a lot in Olympic skeet over the years. Now, you're modest, but just show off for a second. What have you won?
I've been Hampshire champion for 1974 to 2005.
You can do a bit better than that, can't you?
I'd hope so. Yes, England. I shot for England in 76 to 2006, and Great Britain for 18 years.
And you've won a few things in that time?
Yes, British champion, European Commonwealth, Dutch champion, some cups from Holland, France, Belgium, various European countries.
Just a few things then. So more than 30 years shooting for your country. Now, why are we here, and what's that baseball cap you're wearing?
This is our new company, designed to raise funding for the Olympics.
Don't they get funding from the Sports Council?
Not at the moment. Unfortunately, after our poor performance in Athens and Beijing, our funding was drastically cut, and now we're in a position where there are only 2 or 3 designated shooters. The remaining of the sport has no funding whatsoever.
So how do young shooters, athletes for these Olympics fund themselves? How do they pay for themselves? Out of their own pockets?
Fathers, generally, unfortunately. It's a sad world. There are minor grants available from local councils. The industry is supporting, but there's only a limit. The cartridge manufacturers can support.
So the industry, the people...
All within the industry. the whole sport's funded within the industry. We're very limited because of the small amount of media time, on mainly television time. Therefore, the sponsors don't get the exposure, and at that point then there's a limited amount of funding that the manufacturers can put into the sport.
Right.
So we need to actually give the sport a whole new profile.
Okay, but traditionally we're good at shooting, aren't we? I mean, tell me about the old days when you started. I mean, we were top of the world, weren't we?
We were good. I mean, and 25% of our medals in Commonwealth Games or Olympics have come through shooting. But be it rifle, pistol, small bore, full bore.
All our medals.
All our medals. So we are a big player in the medal table. And that's why the Olympic Committee came on board and put some serious funding into shooting. Unfortunately, through one reason and another, we haven't had the success.
But when did the Olympic Committee do that?
After Richard Folds and Ian Peel won their medals in Australia, in Sydney.
Yeah.
And since then, our performance level has not been at the same level, really.
So we've lost the funding, and this is what you're trying to replace now.
We must replace the funding.
Okay. Now go back. I mean, shooting has not made it onto television until Fieldsports Channel, of course.
Correct.
Shooting has not made it onto television in the same way that other sports have, and that's crucial, isn't it? But going back to the 1960s, 1970s, when you started shooting, it was a big sport, wasn't it?
It's a big sport, and Ely supported a major shoot back in '78 where there was £170,000 worth of prize money.
Wow, in 1978.
In '78, and then there was a six-wheeled Range Rover a couple of years after that. BMWs were involved in it, and now we're shooting for a plastic egg cup, I'm afraid.
Oh dear, is this sort of thing?
This sort of thing, and this is what you would expect from a grassroots shooter.
Yeah.
The majority of our clay shooting is made up with the Sunday boys who go to their local club, shoot 50 targets. If they're successful, they might win £50, and then the ones who don't enter the open competition tend to go for a trophy level, and that would be the standard trophy.
Are you saying that's a bad thing?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it doesn't actually help the sport progress. Those are our grassroots shooters, and they achieve some form of success at that level. But we need to move the grassroots shooter who's talented, which is what this is about,
right,
onto the next level of shooting for their county, and then from the county for their country, and from the country to GB, Commonwealth Games and Olympic Games.
Merchandise is something the OCTSF will be selling to raise funds. Sarah Daly, another force behind the initiative, soon relieves me of a tenner for a baseball cap, and I feel my dignity might be following it. Now I'm off to see Sarah. She's going to give me 10 here at the shooting school, then Alfie's going to take me to the Olympic skeet layout at the shooting ground. He is a champion. They're trying to make a fool out of me.
I hear you've had a sort of difficult game season and you'd like a refreshing lesson. So we'll see what we can do with you. This is your gun. It's a Browning, very good pedigree. Very suitable gun for shooting clays and game.
And game, yeah.
And
good.
game, yeah. They've now become socially acceptable in the game market. Great pedigree.
It's a lovely new one, I'm afraid. It's I'm all hat and no cattle with this gun.
If you'd just like to put the gun up, it is unloaded. Pop the gun up into your shoulder, head on the stock, looking at the barrels.
Yep. Alfie hands me over to Sarah, who takes control of me and my shooting technique.
When you're ready, let's have a look at you, Charles. Go.
Pull.
Okay. And the next one.
Got some work to do.
You have some work to do. Floppy with your left hand.
Can you show me what you mean? So the more waving about, the worse it is.
Yes, no faffing about. Better, there's still a dip.
Yes, there is. I'm finding it rather than...
Yeah. Remember, feet no more than shoulder width apart. And as lovely as you are, your shoulders are not that wide apart.
Do you think I'm in any way ready to have a look at that Olympic skeet layout?
We're going to find out.
One of the problems for British shooters is a lack of places to train. From here at Frobury in Hampshire, the nearest Olympic skeet layout is at Larkhill Garrison in Wiltshire, 40 minutes away. That's where we meet one of the people Alfie and Sarah are keen to help, Captain Pablo Mills. We might be on MOD land, but this Olympic skeet setup is open to the public. Here we are at Larkhill Garrison. This is your home ground, and you're a good example, aren't you, of how the Army is coming in shooting at the moment.
Yes, that's right. The Army, we used to shoot just sporting, and the Army wanted to come onto the Olympic discipline side to see how far somebody in the Army could progress through the system, and if they could shoot not only at national level but also international level, at Great Britain level, and into the Olympics. And that's the aim of the game, is to get young soldiers interested in clay target shooting.
And that's what you've done, isn't it? Because when did you start shooting?
I started this very late. I've only been shooting this now for about 4 years, and I've come into sport late. And what we're trying to do, so we're an Army development squad, is get young soldiers interested in clay target shooting in order to progress up to national level, i.e. shooting for England, and shooting for the Army first, then shooting for England, and then shooting hopefully for Great Britain, and being in a selection process to shoot at World Cups.
So this is exactly what Sarah and Alfie at OCTSF were talking about, this trying to bring talent on rather than just allow them to shoot jolly club Sundays, isn't it?
Correct, and we're trying to put a professional base on clay target shooting from the Army perspective, because we want to put ourselves forward, because we're the British Army. We want to be seen there, and it's part of also our recruiting, because if they see soldiers shooting at England level, Great Britain level, in World Cups, then it promotes the British Army and brings young blood into the sport and young soldiers and get them interested.
Sarah is the one you will need to speak to if you want to donate to OCTSF and help Great Britain win medals for shooting at the London 2012 Olympics. Sarah, what does it cost to get a single clay shooter to the Olympics?
With the travelling, hotels, the selection shoots that you need to do, probably around £20,000 a year. 20 grand. You're not surely going to get there by flunking these excellent caps. There must be other fundraising. What have you got in mind? We might need to do one or two other activities apart from some caps. Yes, you're quite right. The caps is the very first stage. We will be introducing badges. We'll have 3 high-value badges: gold, silver, bronze. These are the pretty enamel badges that people wear. Yeah. Yes, and they will be several £100s each. So you're going to go on a shoot wearing one of those. You are saying, thanks to me, somebody's getting that much closer to Olympic Games. Absolutely. And then we'll have basic enamel badges, which will be £5–10, and gun case labels, car stickers. But we'll also be going to the game shooting world. There's a lot of interest in the game shooting world for competition shooting. Although a lot of the shooters don't want to get involved themselves, they are interested in what is going on and want to support shooting. If you want to get involved in this gang, if you want to fund British talent at the Olympics, then contact you. Yes, contact me. There's an email address which is on the website. The website is easy. It's just octsf.com. We'll stick that on the screen. Great. And the email address info@otsf.com. So nice and easy to remember. Decided to keep it simple. So there will be information on the website, and my telephone number will be on the website as well, so people can email me or telephone me. All right, there's still pigeon post available as well, so there will be a postal address. You don't shoot the pigeons? No, we don't shoot the pigeons. Not in Olympic skeet or trap or double trap, no. That's another thing altogether. So now it's time for my first go at Olympic skeet, and I'm feeling the pressure.
From there, bang.
Yow. If you say so.
Yeah. So you've got to shoot it before that post.
Okay.
All right, because there's a referee stood there who's actually going to call it a loss if it's not broken before that post.
You're not making it easy.
So your shot is going to be from there to there.
So okay. I want to swing from here to there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you've only got to hit this one to win the World Championships.
Brilliant. All right. Pull. Sarah, thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. Whew. I am filled with admiration for competition shots such as Alfie, Sarah and Pablo. I had to do that once and I felt on top of the world. They have to pull off a clean shot 150 times out of 150 over 3 days with the whole world watching. Fantastic. That's shooting at a very high level. If you want to start shooting at Sunday competition level, here's our London 2012 Olympic trap hopeful, the Ab Fab Abbey Burton, to give you a grounding.
Gun setup for Olympic trap needs to be set up a little bit higher than most of the other disciplines, only because the clay is rising away, so it's rising up in the air, so you need to be able to shoot above point of aim. Olympic trap's as hard as it is anyway, so you need to try and make it as easy as possible. So by having your gun shooting above point of aim, this actually allows you to shoot straight at the target as opposed to covering the clay up in order to try and shoot it, because it's hard to shoot what you can't see. Basically something like skeet. Skeet, because the clays are flying across as opposed to rising and away, generally the setup would be a little bit different because you want it still shooting at point of aim, or majority at point of aim, because the targets are side on as opposed to they're not rising up, so you don't need the built-in height as such. The gun's empty. Basically your eye is going to be on the gun. Now if I show you, the bead should look into the bottom of my colour. Should be near enough on the bottom of my lashes.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, whereas a sporting gun, you'd be a lot lower into the middle of my colour, almost my pupil.
Can't see lashes at all, no.
Foot setup is different to each individual. You've got to bear in mind that there will be possibly a 45-degree left and a 45-degree right. So you want to set yourself up so that you can reach both of those. I generally have a rule of toe heel, and as long as I'm not too square on and not too side on, as long as I'm sort of halfway in between so that I can swing to the right and swing comfortably to the left, that's the position that's most comfortable for me.
It's swivelling like a tank turret, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and not standing too wide that you have to end up leaning forwards or backwards to targets. You want something quite, not too narrow, but just shoulder width apart stance, like you would stand generally every day. And then just check that your knees are nice and soft, that you can actually rotate fully to the left and fully to the right. So you have a series of preparation that you would do leading up to actually before calling for the target. You check your foot position, you then check that you've got cartridges in the gun.
Which you will in a minute.
Yes, yeah. You'll then close the gun up. Again, just making sure that you're fully relaxed. Gun comes nice and softly into the shoulder. Your eyes will focus not too far away from the gun, but everything at that point will be still. You'll then call for the target. You'll let the clay out a certain distance, and then you'll move to the target, shooting it promptly.
How long do you reckon did it take you to learn to get that absolutely spot on every time?
Gosh. Endless amounts of probably dry mounting at home. I also went through a lot of changes still with regards to length of my stock, height. So you end up playing around probably, it took me at least a year, and it's probably still ongoing now. I change things here and there.
Now you have got a very beautiful shotgun there. That's your sponsorship shotgun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Perazzi. They're manufactured in Italy. They're what the majority of Olympic trap shooters use, so it's the stock. Yeah, it's the gun fit, because what you want to be thinking about is the clay out there. You don't want to be thinking too much. If the setup here is correct, it's hard enough with the mentality to shoot the clays.
If you're just taking up Olympic trap, what sort of shotgun would you recommend? Obviously a Perazzi, but they cost millions of pounds.
Oh, they do, yeah. Well, I actually started off with a Maruku MK38, in which I had an adjustable stock to start off with. So, if my eyes changed or I was growing as well, so obviously if my face filled out more or if it not filled out as I grew up, I mean, others I have opinions on that, I was allowed to adjust it throughout life until I got the picture that I wanted to see. I won my first British with a Maruku MK38. You know, it's had a lot of successes behind it. And the only reason I changed was just because someone else sort of suggested a certain gun that would be better for me, and I tried it and stuck with it.
Some people like to end their shoot season with a barbecue. For Sid Summers and his Essex Syndicate, it's got a bit out of hand. They're now feeding 350, and maybe there'll be enough left over to fill 5 baskets. It's the calm before the storm. 350 people have bought a ticket to tonight's game feast held by a syndicate in Essex. The We Kill It, We Grill It crew believes in making good use of everything they shoot and catch or are given. It means that about 20 chest freezers are filled during the year. It results in a host of dishes and delights for their guests. There's even a bush tucker trial for the brave.
In this tub here we've got cod eyes, obviously raw, and there's 3 people, so we have a sort of a bit of a competition, so they all have to pop it in, 1 in each. Then in this one we've got squirrel genitalia, which is obviously squirrel's nuts. This one we've got large, extra large, like mealworms, and they're quite crunchy and taste nutty apparently. I have partaken before, I've got to admit. This one we've got crickets. I won't take the lid off because they'll jump everywhere. And this one, as you can see, they're like a big type maggoty type thing. And in here, it is the big one for this year. It is deer's penis and balls in there as well. They're going to have a slice of that each this year if they partake. The only thing that gets cooked is the squirrel's nuts. We cook them in garlic.
The heat is being turned up in the kitchen, and there's plenty of prepping to be done to create the Bambi Buna and venison stroganoff. Sid Summers is the brains behind this extravaganza. It started more than 10 years ago with a barbecue in his back garden. But over the years, things have just got bigger and bigger.
We start gathering game, obviously, through the season. But there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. It all has to be prepared, frozen. And I know that we've got 120 something squirrels. There's well over 150 pheasants. And it goes on. Like the rabbits, hundreds. Pigeons, hundreds. I know at one point I was delivered 220 pigeons to Brest and butterfly to go into the freezer. So.
Why did you do it? It's so much work.
Well, it's fun. It's fun. As long as it stays fun, then I'll keep doing it.
There's no shortage of food, and the chefs are worried they might have put too much out on the tables before the main dishes are served. But people are enjoying the food and the experience.
I mean, I feel a bit nervous because even that, it does look like beef, but I'm sort of thinking, what is it? And I don't think we're that adventurous, but I'm really keen to see all the different foods. I've heard they've got things like squirrel and partridge and pheasant, and I'm like, oh, what do they do with this food? So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't know if I'm going to be trying loads of it.
Yeah, I've eaten game all my life, shooting it as well as eating it. Just enjoyed the taste of it and the variety you can get from the countryside.
So it's an excellent way of building bridges between the syndicate and the community. H shoots with them, and she understands how important this night is.
I think the best bit is socialising, obviously, getting people to understand what we do, the food that we eat, because obviously the food is so much different to the supermarket food. It's fresh, it's killed, we kill it, we look after it, and I think it's just brilliant.
The mountain of food is slowly demolished by the hungry guests. This is probably the biggest syndicate organised game feast in the country. So, should other syndicates consider doing this type of thing?
I think if every syndicate done it, and you got the games on events that they do. I mean, some of them probably talking £45 a head, something like that. Yeah, I think if everyone sort of done it, yeah, it's good fun, it's enjoyable, and it gets your name out there. It gets sort of shooting out there, and people can see what it's all about.
These chefs know they would earn more cash by selling their game to a dealer, but their very special night is great fun with great food, and what they do makes them all great ambassadors for shooting. We kill it, we grill it. We're delighted to report there are up to 42,000 of you watching this programme. Thank you, but tell your friends, we could always use more. This has been Fieldsports Britain. We do not sit on the fence, especially not this one.